Gotham, city of crime and corruption, but one man stands for justice. That fine, mohawked man known as the Batman, who is playing hockey today in the DCHL, ladies and gentlemen. All outfitted. How do you feel about your game, Batman, coming up?
I feel really good. I think we're going to have a good game.
What are you going to do if the Joker breaks out of Arkham Asylum while you're playing a DCHL match?
You know, I feel like this sport is more important than crime, so I'll stay here to finish the game.
Ooh, Batman, not so much standing for justice anymore as he is for goals, assists, and hockey, so...
That's the plan.
Well, there you go, Joker. You have an opening. All right, see you later. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest today, President Abraham Lincoln here. Mr. President, great to see you.
I know, I see that guy. For the Mohawk. That's all I know.
7 years ago, our fathers came forth in the DCHL to play some hockey.
That's right.
Mr. President, are you shirking any presidential duties to play hockey today?
Not that I know of. No.
Government shutdown, not an issue for you, obviously.
No, not an issue.
Well, good luck out there, Mr. President. Have a great game.
Hello folks, hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Coming in live from the Assassin's celebration as Jason Sticker caught, it was Batman, right?
Batman, defender of justice and all that is good in the world, and former President Abraham Lincoln.
That's right, if you know who Batman is Nathan DeWild from the Assassins, and Abe Lincoln is played by Brandon Rogers. I believe it's Brandon Rogers. It's Brandon, at least the first name anyway. And of course, the crazy Assassin celebration they have after every game. They do after every game, and I was finally lucky enough to get you on videotape, so there you go. The Assassins had a great win last week, advanced the DCHL Cup, the red bracket, next week as well too. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving, everybody. And back here, we're at the 21st Amendment Bar and Grill, courtesy of Todd Baskin, the Outlaw Warriors goalie extraordinaire. He actually works here as a bar manager as well too. So hook us up here to do our podcast. Jason, welcome aboard.
Yep, welcome aboard. Yep. Good beer, good times, good hockey. We played over the weekend here with this Thanksgiving tournament that we just had.
We had no games this past weekend because we're working a holiday weekend. We did have plenty of hockey action. We had the Beat the Puck Buddies Thanksgiving tournament on Saturday at MDHL location in Germantown, where Todd played goal and I played goal as well too for the who did I play goal for? Well, the Funky Black Duckies, which is kind of fun to play for. We came in second. It was a great tournament. Of course, the Puck Buddies dominated as we expected to do. And like I said on Facebook, next time, if you beat the Puck Buddies handicapped, either with 4 players or one hand trying behind the back. So we can look competitive for success.
Gotta do what you gotta do, right?
And on Sunday, Stitch is here as part of the winning team on the First Ladies Challenge Tournament as well too. On goal and get a chance to play with Jake Ruby.
Yes, absolutely.
How was that?
A lot of fun. That tournament was like the All-Star game. No defense whatsoever, but a lot of scoring and goalie, pretty much goalie nightmare.
It was an all-star game. It was goals galore, 2 evenly matched teams. The First Ladies played very well as well too. They got a goal, and unfortunately the guy didn't go, but it was actually a great game. Stitches actually was unfortunately the goalie gave up the goal to
one goal.
Christay on the power play. Great shot by Christay by the way.
Great shot. Got past me. What else can you say? Great, congratulations.
There you go. So we had a great off week, tournament week here at the holidays. We're back to action this particular Sunday. It's week 2 of the playoffs. We already had week 1 in our books. The week 1 was the DCHL Cup qualifiers in the books as well. And this Sunday also is the tournament for the First Ladies. They're going to be in Philadelphia for the Holiday Bash tournament, where Jason and I will be there.
Yep, going to Philly.
Philly, yes. We're going to get extra life insurance, extra car insurance. Make sure we're covered there.
Yeah.
Right, Jason?
If stabbing insurance exists, I'm not going to get that because, as you know, Philadelphia is a rough town with people who like to stab other people, from what I hear.
Well, you're from Chicago. You would know how that feel, wouldn't you?
No, we shoot. We shoot. Don't stab.
Okay.
Stabbing is very low.
Now they went
Shooting is very high.
Shooting in Chicago, stabbing in Philadelphia, apparently.
I can dodge a bullet, but can I dodge a knife? We'll find out after this tournament.
We're going to be at the Feasterville rink and also at the North Lake as well, too, watching the First Ladies play. They're at least 2, if not 3 games on Saturday. If they win, wherever the brackets are going to, they will be at on Sunday as well, too. So
Yeah, we'll be filming and doing play-by-play for all of them.
absolutely, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that works out. It'll be great for us. Then we're going to drive all the way back the next day because it's the playoffs, the DCHL playoffs, week number 2 as we go on as well, too. There you have it. Let's get right to the actual brackets here. Results actually from last week out there. See who qualified which bracket. And welcoming Todd Bascom, our manager extraordinaire. And Todd, say hello to the folks out there.
Hello.
Todd's a Ranger fan. We forgive him for that, actually. He's forgiven. Did a great job here at the bar. Come out and have fun. We're at the Holiday Inn at 550 C Street, Southwest DC.
Yep, Southwest
area.
DC.
Come on by and see Todd. And just say, Todd, hey, DCHL is awesome. We'll give you a good deal, I'm sure as well. All right, go to the action we have out there from last week's results. Overall, the DCHL Cup qualifier results. Let's go with the pro bracket first. I'm sorry, the red bracket first. The 1-8 game you actually played it. It was Todd's Babylon Warriors against your Greenback Boogies, a game that I actually completely missed. So tell me what happened.
Well, first period, Greenback Boogies got up early, and we implemented. Well, yeah, we did. We implemented a defensive strategy. I think even Andy Goss commented, I think on the bench there, like the Greenbacks have finally found out how to play defense, and it was awesome. And then it broke down, but such is life sometimes. No, Warriors ended up tying it up. A little back and forth action for a little bit, but then the Warriors pulled away, and that's all she wrote. Warriors #1 seed for a reason.
And Todd is here working at I'm going to ask Todd. Todd, you played that game. You were a goalie as well.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on the game as you guys apparently were down early, but came back with the Boogies? What was the difference? What turned around for you guys?
What I've been telling the team for a while now is that we tend to not shoot enough.
Okay. That's the one thing you mentioned on Facebook. You did mention on Facebook what it was, but
Got to start getting shots on goal, especially the wacky stuff's going to happen, and they're going to go in. So
Especially against this guy.
So that was pretty much the difference. They started to shoot more. Those guys always played great defense, so that never was an issue. We had a couple little lapses where there were, and that's where the goals were scored. A little, too much reaching, a little too much, and then you get beat, and the guys around you for a break.
they have scores.
And they
2 All-Stars, Andrew Kramer,
and those were the guys that hurt us initially.
Now, I believe Bly had the game of his life. Did he not have a hat trick or at least 4 points last?
Yeah, he had.
Yeah, he was the MVP of that game overall.
Yeah, probably. You gotta watch him from the point.
Yeah, you guys got.
Yeah, he likes.
First year with Wyatt. Tell me what your thoughts on Wyatt is and why he makes your team out there.
He's a classic two-way defenseman. He can play tough down in the corners in the defensive zone, and then he's got one of the better shots you'll see from a defenseman in the league.
Those long, hard shots.
Yeah, they're long, they're hard, and Jason might be, they knuckle.
Yeah, they do. I mean,
I've noticed from warm-ups, you let some go from it and they knuckle.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the long shots tend to knuckle a little bit, but because he's got such a hard shot, it comes at you before you know it. It's past and you're like.
And they have movement, kind of like a
curveball kind of sits
yeah,
down.
they're kind of like a hard slider in baseball. They kind of do that. So yeah, he's made a big difference.
And while we're here as well too, We moved on. The next one was the Scabs. We'll do a little preview down the road. Like this are here. We'll talk the Scabs. And two teams that are pretty similar in my opinion. You know, defense first, goaltending first is the more priority. Goals will be hard to come by. John Roms, who's giving your nemesis in nets across the floor. He can carry a team. What do you have to do to beat John Roms and put the Scabs into it?
You just have to keep going. You know, you have to keep, again, you have to just keep putting them on goal. Grind away. And what you have to do, particularly with John, is most of the time you're not going to beat him first shot.
Rebounds.
You're going to have to get rebounds.
Goal net,
and so you got to crash the net with those round balls. You know, it's hard to control a rebound. You know, a goalie with a puck, you don't have a whole lot of an excuse a lot of the time. The ball, you know, it's going to bounce off, and that's what you got to do. You got to go hard to the net. You got to have good hands and get those loose balls in front. And that's the only way that you're not going to beat John. You know, Wyatt's going to have some trouble beating John with a slapper from the blue.
Good point. Now,
you know,
same token here, from your team side, what are you concerned about? Matching up the Scabs and their strengths and weaknesses. You've already played it once before. What are you concerned about, and what are you telling the team to focus on more on your end to help you with this game? What is your weakness?
You got to take Carlos out of the game. And it's that simple. You take Carlos out of the game, and you get a couple on John, you're probably going to win. You know, it might be a 2-1 game, but you know, if you can neutralize Carlos and get one or two past John, you're in business. And that's when we've beaten them. That's how wee've done it.
That's right. And you beat them this season. You didn't beat them, right? Yeah,
it was a shootout. We beat them in a shootout.
And great matchup as well too. So
we actually had, you know, last season in the summer season, I guess, we played them twice.
Yes.
And we shut them out twice. But I think they were both 3-4-0. But the games were much closer than that.
But this team goes this way too. If one team gets a couple of goals, it could be a 2-0, 3-0 game.
Yeah.
Go either way as well.
Penalties going to be very important in this game.
Yeah, so they're the most penalized team, and it's not dirty play. It's just discipline play, high sticking stuff like that. You know, keep an eye on. But you may get some power play opportunities this coming up weekend out there. JP and Jeff King and Wyatt, and Papa's got to click.
That's where Wyatt is big.
Right.
I can attest for the last 2 weeks.
The point shot from power play is dangerous.
Yeah, you know, and especially teams that, you know, one thing with a lot of the rec teams is that they'll kind of tend to collapse to the net. And so it reaches the point. You don't see it as much from the pro teams because a lot of them, I think, are a lot more experienced, actually, you know, hockey players. So they won't do that. But a lot of the rec teams, they'll just kind of collapse right in, and then you'll end up with, you know.
Well, question, and then we'll tie this in because I talked to this about yesterday as well too. We're all goalies here. We all play goalie, different styles of goalie. But my number one pet peeve, or at least my number one preference when I play goalie is, please don't back up. I want you to challenge, block the shot, go after his steal. Either the guy beats you wide, come after me. If you back up, I'm in trouble. You're going to screen number one. Number two, I'm a small goalie, and then a good shot, and a chance to beat me. Either you actually challenge. Do you agree with that philosophy, or do you want to back up and give him some space? What's your philosophy?
My mantra is if I can see it, I can save it.
Got it.
And so what you're saying, you know, and what you're saying is right, especially for a smaller goalie. You know, I've always been a shorter, you know, so I try to play a little bit more of a stand-up style when I can, that and my back. But, you know, I would rather my defenseman get beat trying to make a play than just backing in kind of, you know, sheepishly and screening me, and then I can't see the shot. And then, you know, you'll get a player like Carlos, for example, he will recognize that, and he'll just snap one off real quick, and you never see it. And before you know it, it's in the back of the net. So yeah, no, I'd rather the defenders be a little more aggressive. And you know, you get beat. You know, nobody out there is playing for the Caps tomorrow. So you know, that's going to happen. And then you get beat. But I'd rather go down that way
Exactly.
than just everyone back and then you have no chance.
No, I do. I mean, that's a big part of why success in the Green Duck Boogies game last week is, he just sit there at the top of the points and just rip it off. And, if the Boogies had just reached out that stick and maybe tried to block that shot, maybe it deflects the force or something.
Force a pass.
Or force a pass.
Force a pass. You know what I mean?
But because he's got free range up, free range,
you got to make them make a play.
Exactly.
You got to make the guys make a play.
And hope they make a mistake.
Right.
Make a mistake, they dump the ball in, you get the ball first, don't give him the shot. Never give him a free shot. Never give him a free shot. It's my personal opinion.
Exactly. So you give Wyatt that long free shot, I mean, more than 50% of the time, he's going to make it on me anyway.
And personally, myself, I'd rather see that. That's where we differ a little. I'd rather see that point shot.
Okay.
For me.
Okay, got it. As long as you see clearly that's
As long as I can see it, if I know it's coming, I'm going to get it. I feel confident enough, especially my glove, that, I won't have too much of a problem with it. But, when you're backing in, that offensive player pretty much has free reign. Now they have all the cards.
not only that, now you're allowing everybody else to come in now. Now, if you make a save, there's rebound opportunities now. People in the slot now, it's congested. That's why I don't like to go back in too much. You basically come on in, don't give them territory without fighting. That's number one thing. Now I see they're gonna shoot, get out of the way, give them a chance to make a shot. That's fine.
I say either block it or get the hell out of it.
Exactly.
One or the other, but don't half-ass it.
Exactly.
Then when you stick, I had a couple of these in the tournament, and not anybody's fault, they were just wacky things, but you stick your stick out, you get a piece of it, deflects right past the goalie.
That is true.
So, either you're going to go get it, or you're going to get out of the way, or try to make the player make a pass or something. But let them, make them beat you.
And again, it's kind of that kind of goal-putting segment, which I'm okay with. But also, you're going to shoot, get him inside, right? Filter if you can inside. Angles, goalies love angles. We want the angle inside. We don't want a straight on angle. We move the side out. Just move the side, always side out, and always helps out goalie-wise. Otherwise, shoot straight, shoot the entire net. Too much to shoot at overall.
Yeah, no, if you force them wide, you're automatically cutting down
exactly.
that open space that they have to shoot at. Especially again for a small goalie, that's big.
And that traffic in front of the net coming up big for you guys because one of those shots from Wyatt went off of JP's butt and into the net. So
yeah, the butt shot.
The butt shot. So
there you go. Well, there you go. Thank you, Todd, for your feedback and your analysis of the goalie here. As you're going on as well too. Good to go.
One other. Yeah, please.
So we'll go back to the 1-4 game ago. They actually resolved the 1-8 game, the game that the Blue Devils lost. It was a good game actually. They had a lead. And the extra second game belongs to Todd here, because Todd's working here, so he gave us feedback on what he saw, what Jason saw as well too. More great tips on defense, how to play for a goalie. If you know how to do it out there. We all have different goalie styles, but work with the goalie. Each goalie has different needs. It's very important to communicate with your defense and your goalie, what they work with each other as well. Do that, you're successful in the world. No matter what kind of goalie you are, talk with your defense and talk with you, you're better off this way.
Communication is key. Two games in a row, Andrew Kramer, when he's got the puck behind the net, has tried to loft it over me and it's hit the back of my helmet.
And when
Didn't go in. But so this game, me and him talked, and I said, okay, when you're about to do it, give me the signal, I'll duck. And I did duck, and he didn't hit me this time. So communication key in all aspects. Moving on.
The Warriors are in the DCHL Cup Pro with that win. The other game we have was a 2-7 game. 2 Jacks, 2 Sharks.
Yep.
The game that was actually a shutout, if I recall correctly. That was won by 2 Jacks, no go.
Yep.
A couple of goals that were waved off in that game. One that was a Sharks foul that went in. I was the back referee, and Ryan was the lead referee. He did not cross the line, so it was not a goal. And the second goal that apparently went in, whistle already blew. I was the referee on that side. I lost track of the ball, and the rule is when you track the balls as a referee, you blow the whistle, that you're tripling behind the goalie and got in. It was 2 anyway, so a couple of bad breaks, potentially for the Sharks. That's a
goal is, not just in the DCHL, but in the NHL too. If you lose sight, thanks, Todd. If you lose sight of the puck as the referee, you have to blow the whistle. So again, the Sharks clearly felt that both were goals, and I can certainly understand their position because I feel the same way if I was on their team. And one of those goals too, me being the scorekeeper, I had a good view and
The first one?
the second one, I believe, that trickled through the goaltender's 5-hole there. Even I was saying, hey, that was a goal, blew the whistle too early, but again, whistle blew. So, I mean, again, you just got to battle back from that and not let it get to you. Not saying the Sharks didn't do that. I mean, I think the Sharks played very well. Blue Jackets just a dominant team in rec.
Yeah, they played well, and the Sharks actually played pretty well, actually. Yeah, scored 8 out there as well, too. As a referee, we hear it from the ref goalies. We don't know what's looking up. Why ever the whistle? So we lose either way. You either blow it too early, you blow it too late. You just got to blow it whistle pop. A couple of boys tell me, I had the ball frozen. You should have blown it sooner. I'm like, I didn't see it frozen. I didn't have control of it. So it goes both ways. Again, the judgment call. You know, it's gonna happen sometimes. It's part of the game wrong there. But anyway, it was a good win for you guys to come advance to the next round as well too. The other game we had was a 3-6 game. The Moussassins against the Leicester Drill. Did you watch that game?
I did. Another game in which a couple of goals got waved off.
Yes, again, some frustration on the end of the L2T. The game, I didn't referee this game, but a couple of goals I doubt they were in, but they were not in apparently. I didn't know what happened there, so I came to comment about it. Did you see those goals?
Yeah, I think it's kind of the same situation as the Sharks, honestly. Referees losing sight or, you know, blowing the whistle, what L2T feels is a little too early. These things happen. L2T obviously frustrated with that. I think it might have got to him a little bit as the game went on, but again, it's just one of those unfortunate things, and not only our little rec league here in DC, but in sports in general. You know, these things happen. So.
Exactly. You know what? It's a great point because number one, first of all, we have. The league has gotten so much faster, quicker, and skill-wise. You have to understand that with 2 referees, you can't see everything. There's just way too much responsibility out there. Unless you're refereeing a game in the DCHL, you understand it. So it's very difficult for us to ref these games out there. Number 2, as Jason said, these things happen no matter what. And this is what we have an expression. Are you mentally tough? Things will go bad. Whether you're a pro team, a rec team, an AHL team, things will go against you sometime eventually throughout a season of playoffs. Can you be mentally strong, stay focused, play the game, and win the game? Some teams can't seem to do that. Some teams do. And those teams that I think are mentally strong will overcome that. Because you have to overcome adversity in some way or form. It's officiating, bad breaks, bad luck, injuries. Can you overcome adversity?
It's just unfortunate to see that in 2 games in the same day. I mean, it really is. And you know, we've actually discussed this issue amongst the board of governors. You know, should we have a linesman out there to purely just, you know, call offsides or onside? You know, should we have, you know, an official up on the second deck there, you know, with the top-down view able to, you know, weigh in on certain calls? We've discussed these things. At the end of the day, the system we have is kind of the best system we go with. And, you know, because we don't want to crowd the rink with too many officials. The top-down view, you know, again, you got to watch the action there, and there are numerous factors involved in line of sight in that area, and which official has more power to overrule another official. There's a lot of moving parts. Now, future seasons, will this be tweaked? Possibly. But again, the system we have now is really the best we got to go with, and it is flawed. But again, I mean, we're open to suggestions.
Well, here's one thing too. People that when you have 100 calls in a game and 2 calls go wrong, they always look about 2 calls are controversially wrong. You always focus the 2 calls that are controversial. Forget about the 98 calls that are right. I think in our league as officials, we get about 98% of calls correct. 95%. So you know, no matter what league you play in and how many officials we have, it's always be the number, you know. So let's don't focus on the 2 to 5% of plays that are controversial. It's always going to happen. We have to learn to deal with what we want as well too. We're always, but Jason said, we're always looking to find ways to tweak that as well too. And if things work out from a budget standpoint, and from that kind of stuff we're looking to as well too.
Yeah. So, but I mean, you know, that was, to me, that wasn't the story of the game. I mean, L2T played very tough. And, you know, even after those 2 calls can go away.
I don't think those.
You know, I don't want to focus solely on those blown calls. We just mentioned it simply because it was kind of an anomaly that in 2 games that day, you know, 4 goals total were kind of, you know, blown dead. So.
And I don't think it affected the results of the game. I think the better teams won, and the teams that played better actually won the game.
Right. Well, across the board, I mean, we really had no upsets. Seeding-wise, there weren't really any real upsets. So
the last game we had in the rec side was the 4-5 game. There was a game on YouTube. It was actually taped by Jason Sticker here. and also Andy Goss, and myself. I came in and helped out play there as well too.
Yeah, I had to suit up for the next game.
Exactly.
So these guys took over during the third period.
Game that was actually on paper looked pretty good, and it was actually a pretty close game, but all the goals was really scored by the Scabs here. You score up Scabs, got the opportunity goals. They were the better team, I thought. It wasn't by a great margin, but they had the better scoring checks on part overall, and a little too many turnovers by the Scorpions in their own zone.
Yeah.
That was the difference maker of this game. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, a little too many turnovers. Scabs getting penalized again, especially late, and Scorpions not able to capitalize on those power play chances. I think that more than anything kind of buried them a little bit.
I thought Andy played actually well.
Yeah, Andy played very well.
You know, like a third rebound goal, you have no chance of rebound goals. Andy played well. Just too many good shots on Andy, too many rebound shots on Andy, and the Scorpions' offense was not existent the first couple of periods. So the Scorpions lose, they go to the TGIS bracket. Scabs win, they go to the DCHL Cup bracket. And those are the pro games we talked about earlier as well too. So those are the brackets we have going so far.
Yep.
Take a break now from the rec. That's all the rec games. Now go to the X Division games.
Okay.
Final week of the season, the X Division we had overall. It was a great matchup between 2 and 3 seed Nexus and Dead Sexy on paper. A game that was going pretty high up as well too. Certain players were missing from Dead Sexy, so it wasn't that even matchup. Next, a couple players missing as well too. But a game that again, Nexus on the Joe Magic Nexus. I don't want to say that we doubted, but we played very, very well. Again, a game that was videotaped on YouTube as well too. Nexus now has won 3 games in a row. Your thoughts on Nexus and the X Division?
Very good team. I mean, you can't really argue that. Nexus GM Suggs always tries to troll a little bit there on Facebook and say how he has the next best team since the Chicago Blackhawks. But all I'm saying is that they're a very good team, very complete team. But as you mentioned, Dead Sexy not having everybody there. They did have Jenna in that, and she is obviously amazing, but
She
can't do it all.
was bombarded that game.
Yeah, can't do it all. And you guys took advantage, I think, of the personnel issues, or the lack of personnel rather, on Dead Sexy. But I don't. If both teams have their full rosters, I don't think it goes the same way.
No, it's not at one side. I think they were the better offensive team overall, personally, but it's not at one side. Obviously, full strength teams in the playoffs and great out there. But that game, if Dead Sexy wins that game, #1 seed, but they lost, which leads to our next game, which gave your team and Todd's team extra strategy, a chance to take #1 seed in the X Division. Did they come through? The answer was yes. It wasn't easy, but they came through.
Yep,
Your thoughts, you and goal that game?
Yeah, no, great game. Again, playing with Jake Ruby is really a luxury for any goaltender whose team he's on. I mean, he's just so good with the puck, as is many other people on the team. So, very, earlier podcasts, you disagreed with me a little bit. You said that we didn't really have much defense. I disagreed. I kind of have to agree with you now, but again, I'll take that offensive firepower.
I'm going to give you a compliment. Best 120 feet team you've ever seen in the DCHL. The best 120 feet team. Unfortunately, it's a 200 feet game, so it's a problem. But their forwards love to play the 120 game. The 120 game, neutral zone and defense, but they have such great offense. And Jake, JP, Boris was there, and of course, your sniper down here, Todd, who's going to chance to play with
Todd. Any thoughts?
Todd plays out in the X Division. He's got some points there as well too. Any thoughts on the X Division and playing out and getting a chance to play with JP and Jake and the crew?
Here's the problem playing with Jake.
Okay.
He's too damn fast. So if you're playing on a line with him, you got it's so, especially a guy like me, it's hard to keep up. I want to play in the corners. I want to play in front of the net. I want to, and
Too power forward.
Yeah, when I'm out there with JP, I have to run. When I'm out there with JP, JP's he doesn't look as fast as he is, but he's quite fast.
Yes, he is.
So it's let's put it this way: if we had complete lines, and I would not be on a line with those guys.
Okay. Got it.
I'm sure. So I think, you mentioned the 120 foot. I think that has a lot to do with it. There's a lot of, because of the the roster problems where people can't, I had to become a part-time player just because of the way the schedules worked out.
Yeah.
And I think that's the issue that the X Division has to deal with, which I'll leave to you guys. But when that happens, you get mismatched sort of things going on, off and on, and I end up on a line, Jake centering it, JP's on the left wing, and there's me. I'm just getting across the blue line when they're at the net.
Yeah.
So I think that has a lot to do with the way the team plays. Luckily, we're JP, they're good enough to overcome that, and they can create stuff down there by themselves, which you see Jake do constantly. So that is what it is. But
Quick question while you're here as well too. Your thoughts on the X Division play out this season? Should it return next season? Do you like it? Do you like the slightly more lenient play there as well too? Your thoughts on the X Division?
yeah, because that's how I haven't played forward since I was in high school. And even then I didn't play it a whole lot. But even being a smaller guy, that was my game. That's why I was there. I was there to get in the corners and rough it up a little bit. And so I don't mind. And what's been great about the X Division is that everybody in it has done a really good job of
Policing themselves. I agree with that. I think it plays more physical.
Yeah.
No one has gotten
It
out
is
of
more
hand.
physical, but it's never been. I've seen it get out of hand more in rec games.
Exactly. I agree with that. I agree with that.
Than in the X Division. Everybody seems to respect where the line is.
Good point.
And so I would definitely do it again if I could. No, but that's a good point. They really do a good job of not crossing that line. Everybody's respectful of each other. Nobody wants to go out there and hurt each other, and it's a lot of fun.
Good. I'm going to hear that's one thing. Exit strategy, a team that Todd and Jason are part of. #1 seed with a win over Force this past Sunday. There'll be a rematch this week. Now, Excessive Force has gotten better and better. Picked up Sean Fosbinder from the Blood Red. They're a grind. I think they're the best grind game. They grind. They work hard. They dunk. They chase. They make you play hard. They beat you already once this season. It was a huge upset. What do you have to do next for the playoffs to make this happen again, Jace?
I don't know. Was that the game that I was at?
Yeah, it was a game you missed because it was even Jimmy Jeff played ball.
Yeah. Okay. So
that was the difference. You would go.
no, absolutely not. No, I'm just. I wasn't there for that game, so I don't really know what we did specific to that game. But as long as we play our game the way we've been playing it, I think we'll be fine. Look, I make no illusions about me being an all-star goaltender. I have no illusions of that. But when you have JP, Boris when he's there, when you have that kind of offensive firepower, if all I've got to do is stop half the shots, I'm fine with that. So, put up 8, 9, 10 goals, guys, and I'll do what I can. That's all I
One
can.
more question for you guys. We're here at the same time. Todd and Jace, since you guys are here, it's a podcast here, 21st Amendment Bar as well. I always say that I love exit strategy, but it reminds me of the Washington Capitals. To me, exit strategy is the same type of team. Washington Capitals, all about the offense out there. Do you agree with that? And if not, what is your weakness, and what do you do to win the cup, to win the X Cup this season?
See, I'm going to go back to what I was saying before.
Okay.
I've only played 2 or 3 of the games.
Okay.
And every one that I've played in, like I said, we've had I don't know that we've ever had a full, everyone on the roster there. And I think a lot of it has to do, like I was saying, I have no business playing on a line with Jake and JP. It doesn't match. And so that, so they're running up and down the floor, and then you got other people that play different styles. The games I've been there, that's what I've seen.
Now, here's where, disagree with you here, I would put your line with JP and Jake. You know why? Because you're the third guy back. You're the guy who's the trailer. You're the first guy back on the fence. You're the grinder. You be the future's old guy. If you're behind, it's okay. So when the ball gets turned around, you're the guy who's allowed to trust it. You're the first offensive player back to back check.
Yeah, but
that's
you assume that I have the ability to do that.
You do a back check. I've seen you back check. You can back check.
Look, a lot of that is conditioning.
Okay.
I haven't done that in so long. So I guess if I did it more often, as I do it, I'd be better with that. Until I get to that point, I agree with that, except that the conditioning isn't
Not very
there.
good. For me, I'm like, got Todd, you're the first guy back. So transition back. Because I think one thing guys,
So it's like I'm going into the zone and then the quick change in direction and then I'm done.
Exactly.
I'm done. I've got to get off the floor. But
Go ahead.
I don't disagree with that, but you know, it has to be the right kind of
Theory not yet matching with reality.
Yeah, exactly. It's good in theory, and it would get there eventually.
And keep in mind, this is a draft division, so I mean, these guys have played together for more than 2 or 3 games in a row. I mean, it's hard to get chemistry. You know, we have players coming off and on to draft the division. There's not much chemistry to start in the first place, so it takes time. You know, it's not easy. That regard. So good point out there. The one thing that I did give a little feedback to my team next season, guys, the one thing I together was the one thing I noticed for the exit strategy is neutral zone. The neutral zone check is not there. From blue line to blue line, when the ball gets turned over, that's what the softest, the one-touch pass is what creates the 2-on-1 opportunity against the exit strategy out there. So I think the neutral zone is where we will concentrate more on. You guys do a better job of having the neutral zone in the playoffs. You guys win the X Cup. You guys don't, you guys will lose. It's my personal opinion. There you go.
We'll see what happens.
Todd there with feedback on exit strategy. We talked about the games there. So again, exhibition playoffs actually start this week for us. And the exhibition playoff, we've got number 1 seed exit strategy going against System Force, and the rematch of dead set seed against Nexus. Vegas Suns has a slight favor to Nexus 3 seed over the number 1 seed exit strategy.
Vegas Suds having a slight advantage for GM Suds.
Well, no, I think if you poll everybody, you'll probably agree with that. You know, you would say that the most complete team probably is Nexus right now, and they won 3 games in a row, so you got to go with flow. You know, but it's not. It's a very slight, you know, itsy.
It's not a bad pick. I just think there's some bias there.
Never bias here when it comes to me overall. So there you go. Exhibition playoff starts this week. Games will early this week. Don't forget, folks, 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Other game time here. This week's exhibition class should be a great, great game as we go into the X Cup finals the following week as well too. So now we've got the rec games put aside, the X games put aside. Let's have the pro games. Pro games, number 1 seed against number 8 seed. It was Puck Buddies versus the Untouchables in the game. In a game, we thought that you might want to put your kids to bed early because it get ugly pretty quickly. And I had a side bet, fun bet with Captain Jay Hunter of the Untouchables that they would not score a goal against Puck Buddies. You know what? I lost that bet. Somehow, some way, shot around and gave a goal to Rob Montre in the first half.
Did you order your curl medium well?
Well, actually, I ordered a drink, so I'm doing it. But I mean, how they scored 4 goals all year long? It's 5 goals, and they score against the Puck Buddies, the playoffs. I mean, it's fun. I love seeing that. But
anytime Suns loses a bet, you all know I'm a fan of that.
So a game that the Puck Buddies dominated. They played well, but give kudos to the Untouchables. They played hard the entire 45 minutes.
Absolutely.
And they got that 1 goal that, to me, that should become a big treat in itself for them in this case. But they moved down and Puck Buddies advanced to the DCHL Cup Pro bracket. Game number 2 featured the 5-minute major against Funkmaster Redux. Game where Jonathan played his last game of the night this past Sunday. A game that was actually a high-scoring game, a 9-5 result. David, and I'm not gonna get the last name like Andy does. It's David D. Actually fell backwards, hit his head in the back of his on the floor. Looked like he had concussion. He actually came out and played for a while, but he was not doing well. But he was the star of the game. He played very, very well. But Todd Elling had all 5 goals. The 5-minute major. They played hard, but they gave up too many goals. That was a big difference out there. Too many shots on net. Too many quality shots on net. And Buckmasters playing very, very well. There are only 2 teams that were not beaten in the regular season in regulation. That was Todd's Babylon Warriors and the Buckmaster Redux. Not beaten in the regular season at all. So they advanced as well too. Buckmasters, was it your pick to make the DCHL Cup Pro a couple weeks back?
I believe so. I don't know.
Do you still believe in that pick?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Interesting. We'll talk about it a little later on today.
Actually, no, I had the Ducks. I think
Ducks
you had
are
the Buckmasters.
You
had the All Blacks.
I had the All Blacks, yeah, as well too. So it should be a great bracket as well too. But Buckmasters move on, and a game where I'll give kudos to Blood Red. They played very, very well. It's a very close scoring time affair for the All Blacks. They were able to get a couple of goals and hold on to win. I think it was 3-1 or 2-1 or 3, something like that. It was a 2-goal, 3-goal game. It wasn't a blowout. All Blacks pulled away late to win that game. I think you were there, were you not, to watch that game?
Yeah, I believe I was. I might have been in and out, but I just want to make a point across the board for pro. Every team, regardless of seed, the lower seeded teams, they came to play this week.
Exactly.
The Untouchables and Puck Buddies game, I know the score didn't reflect it, but Untouchables came to play, and even the Puck Buddies were saying how they played them tough. Saw it in the other two games we did, just all across the board. Really, really good play by the pro team. I'm very impressed by 5 Minute Major. I'm very impressed by really everybody. So
I was very happy. I was very impressed by the defensive play of the Blood Red. They played very hard. A couple of breaks went the All Blacks way, and they won the game. They won. I think they escaped. They were it was close to an upset. They couldn't really lose as well too. And that's what happened with Sudan as well too. Now the 4-5 game is I'm going to order a drink here from Todd. Todd, can I get Long Island iced tea, please? I already had my third drink and no buzz so far, so I'm still sober.
you might as well give me one more. But that's it.
That's it. For the next 5 minutes, I'm doing it.
Yeah,
for the next 5 minutes. For this segment.
I am a sailor, folks.
The 4-5 game was the only game with an upset. It was the Ducks, the 5 seed, going against the Snake Eyes. A game that was a 1-goal game at the end. A couple of penalties that game. 5-on-3 for the Ducks. That they kill off. They kill it off. Great job of the Ducks there as well too.
Absolutely.
Snake Eyes had a chance to win this game, and they made a comeback, but they were missing players too. Don't get me wrong. The Ducks played very, very well, and they pulled off the minor upset. And upset there. I was already picked the panel last week by the clock. It was a popular pick. The Ducks to beat the Snake Eyes. The Ducks advanced, and they will not play the pro bracket. Snake Eyes are tough balls for the 2 Jazz.
Well, the 4-5 seeds playing like the 4-5 seeds. I mean, there was not much separating, many of the pro teams in standings. I mean, really all the seeds from 1 to 5 were very close across the board. So,
absolutely.
That 4-5 seed there. I mean, you might as well call it 4 and 4A.
That's correct.
I mean, that's how close that game was, and that's how close these teams played. So Ducks coming out on top, but Snake Eyes had a shot to take that too.
Absolutely. And
I wouldn't have been surprised if it went the other way.
Absolutely. On paper, in the standings, Snake Eyes were a 4 seed. Ducks are 5. To me, talent-wise, I thought it was the Ducks 4. I think that's fine. So it worked out that way. They're very close. That's how it worked out overall. So great. Congratulations to the Ducks. Finally winning that game. Good job there. It's a great game. You missed it, catch it on YouTube.
Yep. With all of Andy's made-up last names.
Exactly. What was Juan's last name again?
I think Andy called him Arriaga.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where that came from. Folks, I just roll with it. When I'm with Andy in the booth, okay, and I'm filming, I just roll with it. And I just chime in when I can. Andy got a great personality. He's certainly got a voice for radio and for
TV.
For TV and play-by-play and stuff like that. So I just let it roll. And I wanted to correct him, but I thought it'd be funnier if we just let it roll.
I thought it'd be funny to call him Juan Valdez. But he got Juan something else. I don't know what he called him, but Juan called him on Facebook. Arriaga.
Yeah, Arriaga. You call him Arriaga.
There you go.
Well, and it's funny because and we talked about this over the weekend too. Andy insists on using last names, and we have a tendency to use first names.
First name and last name.
So he'd be like, Bannister with the puck. I'm like, who's Bannister? Oh, that's Tracy. Okay, yeah, I got it. So it's just stuff like that. It's just kind of funny to me filming. I try not to crack up.
Anyway, Andy had you, from what I heard, maybe recruited to do some play-by-play for other venues, other tournaments, like the national tournament, the men's tournament, the bigger tournaments we have out there, the regional tournaments. So he's trying to obviously impress the viewers there as well too. But I would say stick with the first game. First game, last initial, pretty easy ball obviously as well too. But great job, great games as well too.
Yeah,
and that was the bracket we talked about overall. Now, before we got to the brackets and go over the picks for next week as well too. We'll take a little break here, have a little drink, have some food as well too, during the break time period. We had a story going on that there's something happened in DCHL in 2014 season. Big stories, the mystery videos have been coming out in the woodworks, the mystery sender out there. And tonight, we promise to reveal to you who the mystery sender is. So at the end of the podcast, keep tuning in. We'll show you who the mystery videos, he or she, reveal something like.
You know what? I'm gonna shut this down right now, folks. Okay. I'm gonna shut this down right now. I know the mystery, folks. You know what the mystery is? Okay. League's gonna expand to 25 teams. Columbus Blue Jackets of the NHL, because they're so terrible in the NHL, they're coming to DCHL. Okay. And we're getting sponsored by Papa John's. Okay. That's the whole mystery. That's the whole mystery, folks.
We'll find out if he's right at the end of the videos, and don't forget to tune in. At the end of this podcast, you will see who he or she, the mystery video sender is, and I'm told that person is going to be there live next week to explain the entire scenario on why he or she is presenting mystery videos and what his or her motive is. So don't forget.
I don't condone any of this.
So
this is not condoned.
Tune in at the end of the podcast. We'll reveal who the video sender is for you. But in case you missed the videos, let's go watch the videos right now. When we come back, we'll talk about the videos momentarily, and then we'll go into our mailbag segment. Come back here. We'll use that on the mailbag. Back momentarily here. Watch the videos. They're very short. Come back.
Feel free to skip forward about 3 minutes.
2 and 2. See you in 2 and 2. Cheers.